Hey guys, it's Tuesday morning and we are back with the Handbook of Ornament. Like I talked about last week, we're going to go through this book, and each week we're going to learn a little bit more about what we can do with this book and how we can use it. Today we're going to do two different designs. One from this plate here, we're going to do this one right here. And the second one we're going to do is this one right here. Why? Because I like them. There's no real other good reason or no real better explanation than that is I think they're a really pretty pattern, and so I'm going to design them. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use the squares as 1-inch squares. So we're going to go ahead and we'll lay out this one here and then this one here. Then we're going to go from the layout into the toolpath thing and how it's all going to look. Let's go ahead and go to Aspire. We're going to start by just creating a new file, and I'm just going to make this an easy one. I'm going to do a 12-inch section. I'm actually going to make my Y 1.5 because I'm going to use the outside edges to do some trim work just to make it look pretty. Okay, so here we are here, and we're going to take and lay out every inch. There's 1 inch, and there's 2 inch. Now on this one, I'm going to come up to a 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to right click here and just make it say a 1/4 inch. Apply. I can go relative to guide 1 inch and click. Okay, so now I've got 2 squares, and that's really all I need for this pattern. And so we look at this one here, we're going to have this little pattern here that repeats. So to draw that one, it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to go to our draw arc tool. I'm going to start right there and right there. I'm going to go all the way up to there. Okay, here we are. Okay, now I'm going to copy and paste that. Control C, Control V, then I'm going to use my 0 to rotate it, and I'm going to move this one over here halfway. And I should get this pattern. After that, we're just going to array this thing right down the row. So the easiest way to do that is just to select both of these. We're going to use our array tool. In my X, I'm going to go 4, and I'm going to do an offset from the beginning of 2 inches. So offset of 2, and just click on copy. All right, you can see how we get our pattern going here. And 4 looks like we need to do a few more than that. So Control Z, we're going to go up to 8 and hit copy again. That's going to give us a little more than we need, and that's okay. Select this one. I'm going to center it. Then I'm just going to take and clean off the excess here. So I'm going to grab my scissors tool, clean off that. I'm going to take these 2 as well, and that way when they're centered it has a nice finished edge to it. So real quick, real simple, literally just a half circle arrayed out, lined up, and we're perfect. Finish off this piece. I'm going to draw a polyline from there to the end, get rid of my guidelines, and I'll draw another one down at the bottom. So to do that, we'll just use our mirror. We're going to go flip vertical. And I'll lay that out there. So there's our first pattern already done. You can already see how this is going to be a really cool piece of molding. A lot of different ways we can machine this and draw this up. So we're going to now do 2 different ways. First way is all router bits, no 3D modeling whatsoever. To do that, we're just going to select everything. Come over here to our profile toolpath, and we're going to set our cut depth at 0.15. Selecting our 1-inch router bit here. I'm going to 1-inch rope molding router bit. Come down here till we find rope molding, 1-inch diameter rope. Apply, select, and let's just calculate. Show you what it does. Here's our pieces. They're all done. Let's go ahead and just preview all of our tool paths, and we'll just see how this shape comes in. Now I've got the speed a little slower so we can kind of watch and see where the cuts are going. And so as you watch this come to play, you're going to see these little leaves show up. And then as it finishes up, you're going to see how the ends just kind of clean up the edge and make a nice, beautiful piece of molding that you can use as an accent piece, or either a piece of furniture, or possibly even if you're doing a vent above a stove, also a beautiful piece for that. Our trim is done. She looks great, easy, and the best part is that 12 inches of that took 1 minute and 19 seconds. So if you're going to do 8 feet, you're at about 10 10 minutes every 8 feet. So not a bad way to go for a cool piece of molding. That is all Router profiles, nothing but profiles. Makes it quick, fast, easy, and a beautiful piece. Let's go on to our second piece now. Our second piece is going to be this one here, which looks like these diamonds that are laying on top of each other. So let's go ahead and open up another version of Aspire. And let's go ahead and lay this out. Now the way we're going to do this one is a little bit different. We used toolpaths on the last one. On this one, we're going to add just a little bit of 3D modeling. Let's go ahead and create our toolpath. And going back to our picture, we're going to notice right here that there's actually 4 going up, and they're split into 1/2 inch increments. We don't need to go that. We can just do it 2 up and down, 2 across. So we're going to go with a 2 inch, then we're going to have beads on both ends. We're going to go 2.5. So from 1.5 goes to 2.5. I'm going to click on OK. Same thing as before. We're going to start by just coming down to here, 1/4 inch, and a 1/4 inch from the top as well. And then we're going to just break that right in 2. I'm going to go to 0. I'm going to come over here to 1. And over again, 2. All right, now what we're looking for here is this pattern, right? You'll notice that it's a 2 inch by 2 inch diamond. So what I like to do to make myself just a little bit more sane is I'm just going to draw myself a 2 by 2 square. There's my 2 by 2 square. And then we're going to rotate it twice. So I'm going to hit 0 just one time. And what that does, it puts me into a diamond. Now, obviously, that's too big, so I'm going to snap it into place. And using my scale button, I'm going to just say, you know what I want you to do is job aligned. So instead of rotated bounds, okay, I'm going to say job aligned bounds. That allows me to go to that 2.8284 and change that to 2 and hit apply. And that shrinks it down to the perfect size for what I'm looking for. Now that's our first diamond here, and then what we're going to see is that we move every inch. So to do this one, I'm going to grab this guy, and I'm going to do my array again. This time I'm going to go with 12 of them. I'm going to offset them 1 inch. I'm just going to copy. Here we are. Now it almost looks like the piece that we're working on, right? The only difference is that we've trimmed away back half of each of these here. So you'll notice how it's kind of trimmed away. This diamond here has this tip trimmed away. And we need that tip for the moment because we're going to do a 3D model this time instead of a 2D shape. So to do that one, we do want that the way that it is. I'm going to select this guy here. And we're going to just give us creating a flat shape. I'm going to bring it up. Let's say we bring it up 3/16 of an inch. Okay? We're going to click on create. Okay, so now what we've got this beautiful flat shape here. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to fade it away. I'm going to set my anchor over here on this side here, and I'm going to fade it over to there. We need to be 75%, not 0.75%. Okay, there's our fade. Looks fantastic. Let's grab this one now, and we're just going to send that right down that row the exact same way as before. So we can actually get rid of all of these now. These are just vectors. We don't need those at all. We have our diamond. And let's do the same thing we did before. Gap of 1 and copy. It's going to look a little weird right now. We have this interesting pattern going on. Kind of cool, but not quite what I'm after. Our next step is to select them all. And we're going to go to our components and we're going to change them to a merge. Now that they're a merge, we go back to our 3D view. We have these diamonds. They're laying on top of each other. Very similar to what we did and what we saw right here. To finish them off, we're going to add 2 things. We're just going to drag a box right here. And that is going to be just the size of our little bead we're going to put in. And we're going to mirror that down bottom as well. Doing that, we're going to have these 2 guys here. And I'm just going to go into my create shape, and I'm going to make that go the full 90 degrees. And then create that one. Now we have beads. Go up both sides of that. We're going to add a zero plane to it just so we have everything all in one. Some great pieces here. Now, one of the things I want to show you real quickly, because I'm looking at this and it's white on gray, which is hard to see. I'm going to come back in here to our design tab and set our job dimensions and origin. We're going to change our material setting from white to, let's say, cherry, for instance. Now we can see a little bit better what we're looking at here. All right, let's go ahead and just center this up. We'll throw a toolpath on this one and see what it does for us here. Okay, with both of those done, let's go ahead and just machine it up. We're going to come over here. We're just go straight to our finishing. Doesn't need a roughing. It's not near deep enough. We're going to grab an 1/8 of an inch tapered ball nose cutter. Phenomenal tools. I'm going to give a quick shout out to precisebits.com. Think and Tinker is the name of the company. They're phenomenal. And I like to use their tapered ball nose cutter. So I'm going to use an 1/8 inch tapered cutter. And I'm going to be running at about 300 inches a minute on a 15,000 RPM spindle speed. That's going to give me about a 5,000 chip. Probably go a little faster than that or drop my RPM a little, but I think it'll be okay. All right, we're going to go model boundary. And let's go material boundary. And let's go ahead and go to a raster. I like raster with the grain if I can. Get that out. And let's take a look at what we've got here. One of the things you're going to notice real quickly is that this one is going to take quite a bit longer than the other one, and that's because we're just doing 3D modeling with it, so it's going to have to nibble back and forth over these 12 inches, which is going to take quite a bit longer than if we had done this with just router bit shapes like we did the first one. So for this pattern itself, it has just a little bit different shape, different look to it, and of course a little bit different machine time. So depending upon what your customer wants or what you want, if it's for yourself, or what your wife wants, if it's for her, you can kind of decide what it's going to take to do the job and get yourself a good estimate of the time it takes. While this one finishes out, we're going to go back over to the Handbook of Ornament. And you can see that there's lots of other patterns that you could do. We could do this diamond over diamond. We could do highs and lows, lows and highs. We can do this shape here where we just flip it vertically instead of flipping it and offsetting it. Now, there's lots of cool different patterns you can do when working inside this book. Again, the trick to making it work is to just decide what those little squares are for size and use that as a way to scale your artwork. In my case, I did a 1 inch by 1 inch. That is totally up to you. I hope you enjoy this and really get to have some fun with this class. We'll toggle back over, see where we're at. We're almost finished here. We'll see our finished part and we'll see what kind of time it's going to take to do it. Now again, I've set my settings really high I'm setting my settings really high in my toolpath view so I can really look at everything and make sure it's perfect and just the way I want it. And that's a pretty cool piece. I'm very happy with that one. So 12 inches of this will take 12 minutes. So it's about 1 inch a minute, which means if you're doing an 8-foot piece, it's going to take you about 100 minutes would be my guess, or at least rounding it to right about there. So again, not very bad. It's about 1.5 hours. So again, not very bad. It's about 1.5 hours. If there's any questions you have about any of this stuff, or if you would like to learn a little bit more about the machines or these router bits, where we get these really cool rope molding bits, things like that, give us a phone call. Our number is 801-491-0010, or drop me an email, john@legacywoodworking.com. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. Be nice to each other, and we'll see you guys in the next one.